Okay, moving on to our third section. They're asking us to list this from least to greatest, so our answer will go here. But first, it reminds us we need to evaluate each one of these as a decimal. Okay. For 2 square root of 5, you type it in exactly as you see it. So put in the value 2, and then you're going to press second x squared to get that root symbol, and then the number 5. Okay, you're going to evaluate it by pressing enter. You see it gives you the same thing back. So what type of number is this? Irrational. So to change an irrational number to a decimal, use that double arrow key. Okay, and so now we have an approximate decimal. So now we're going to write down 4.4721. Okay, now we're going to evaluate the square root of 25. Second x squared 25. Go ahead and evaluate that. What is the value of the square root of 25? 5. Is that rational or irrational? Rational. It's understood as, if you're writing this as a decimal, that there's a 0 in the tens place because it's a whole number. Okay, 5.2 is already a decimal, so we're just going to copy it down. Okay, and 2 pi we just did. So we're just going to copy our information from the last example. So that's 6.2831. Okay, this last one. This little 3 here means that it's a cube root, which means we're asking ourselves what number times itself 3 times will give you the value that's under the radical. Okay. The calculator will do this for us, but we need to know how to enter it in. So what we would do, first thing you're going to do, clear your screen, type in the number 3. You don't have to press anything before it, just plain number 3. Then we're going to press second and the button above x squared. It has the arrow here. Okay. If you notice, once you press that, it makes that 3 smaller and it comes above the square root symbol now. Okay, so I'm going to go back over that one more time. Once you have that in, you would press in the 8 and then just press enter. So I'm going to do that one more time. So press in 3, second, and then the caret key is what this is called, above x squared right here. So that's the cube root of 8, and then you would just press enter. And what is the value? 2. Okay, and if you think about this, 2 times 2 times 2 is actually 8. That's why it's a cube root. Okay. All right, so now they want us to list our decimal values vertically, and they want us to line them up starting from the left. So whole numbers and then our fraction numbers on the other side. So we'll start with 2 root 5 as 4.4721. Then we have 5.0. Then we have 5.2. Then we have 6.2831. And then we have the whole value of 2. I'm going to put a 0 there for it. Okay, they want us to order them. The reason that we line them up vertically is because it makes it easy to pick out the smallest values from the whole numbers first. And then once we get through this, we notice that there's 2 5s, so then you would look and compare the tenths place. And if the tenths were still the same, then you would look and compare the hundredths place, and so on. All right, so our least value in this list is the number 2, which is the cube root of 8. So we're going to write down as our first number the cube root of 8. What's our next smallest number? So our next smallest number would be that 4.47, which is 2 square root of 5. What's our next number after that? 5, which would be square root of 25. And then after that, we have 5.2, which is going to be 5.2. And then finally, we are left with 2 pi. So that's our fifth value, 2 pi. Remember, anytime we're answering questions like this, we need to write it as the original form, even though we did use the decimals to order them. And the reason that we look at the decimals to order them is because if you're just looking at these values, well, it looks like 8 would be bigger than 2 here. They're misleading. So you always want to make sure you change them to the same representation.